Well, let's jump into Juggernaut exploration as well. And this one is the earliest stage, but certainly this big one, it's definitely a smoke show. It's looking good at the this very first step. They're kind of positing as its 11-kilometer highway of gold. Dozens of exposed, kind of systems that they think they've identified. Lots of, kind of grab samples and whatnot from this kind of thing jutting out from the snow. Very interesting. Classic, very early stage, but what's your thoughts? My thoughts. Who cares? But let's just hear from you when you see the big one here. When you see Juggernaut, what are your thoughts?
Okay, importantly, I want to kind of put it in context of what we just talked about at Goliath. Okay, this system that they appear to have found at Juggernaut, big one, is actually geologically is very similar in many respects to the Sherbet system at Goliath. Okay, what does that mean? Well, it means there's likely an igneous connection, meaning the mineralization is derived from auriferous magmas in the area, and if anything, the age, the composition, basically the style of magmatism that we see at Juggernaut looks a heck of a lot like what we see at Sherbet. In fact, I think if anything, this discovery is kind of confirming the overall thesis that there is this unique period of magmatism in geologic history in the Golden Triangle, in this region, that's generated gold deposits. Now, why I bring this up is because prior to this, people did not view intrusions of this particular age to be all that prospective for gold. It turns out that it is, okay? And Juggernaut is kind of proof of concept. So, what are we looking at? Probably an early stage Sherbet type discovery. Is it bigger? Is it smaller? I don't know yet, because they haven't really given us enough information. It's not meant to be a criticism. It's just meaning the first season of field work. Okay. So I think give it a few months and we can digest some data. And I think you'll see that this turns out to be a, Sherbet 2 type discovery.
That's what, and that's why I love we've got these kind of tiered, different stages of companies, and a lot of smoke on this one, and it's located near Galore Creek, which is always nice as well. It's nice to see that it's like kind of jutting out the system, and there's lots of potential there. It's at surface discovery, and certainly, it's got lots of eyes on it because it's got a lot of potential here. And once again, this is like a sister company to Goliath, which is
look at the scale of the veins in these images. I mean, that's a beautiful shot. Like over here on the right hand side, you can see 5 meter thick. I mean, that looks like a Sherbet scale.
Yeah.
And the grades are very similar. It's 16 gram gold equivalent. It's got a significant component of silver, not necessarily silver dominant, but there's a silver kicker to go with this. In every way, shape, and form, you could swap out photographs, and that looks like Sherbet to me.
Yeah, no, and that's very cool. And it's dozens of these newly exposed, kind of areas that are very visible. And it's neat to see the picture too, when you see a person there and you see the size and scope of the system. It's hard not to get excited once again for this kind of early stage one, and it's rare when you have these ones that are. It is a greenfield. I mean, partially because, like you said, people didn't think, well, we'll really attack these types of targets, and also the glacial recession. So there's not a lot of new ground to pick over to find stuff. Yet, you've got both Goliath and Juggernaut with exposed new systems that have really, caught the eye and really proven themselves.
That's a good point about the glacial exhumation here. Basically, as the glaciers have receded, this particular region, or this higher elevation regime within the Golden Triangle is slowly coming to light. As the ice melts back, we see these things. That's how Sherbet was discovered. That's how this has been discovered. Even in other areas, like I'm working with SK, and we're starting to see similar types of veins and likely intrusive connection in the southern part of the SK consolidated SK project, which is part of SK mining. So I think we're going to see new discoveries come out of the Golden Triangle just by virtue of the fact that the ice is melting.